So, have you ever found yourself stuck trying to make plans in Portuguese? You want to say something like, hey, if it rains, we'll do this, or maybe if I have time, I'll definitely do that. Well, guess what? Today we are going to absolutely master that exact situation.
Right. It's that classic what if that pops up in conversations all the time. You're trying to make plans, but they totally depend on something else happening first. I promise, by the end of this, you are going to have all the tools you need to handle these moments like a pro.
And here is the best part. There is a simple, really powerful formula for all of this. Once you get the building blocks, you'll be creating these what-if sentences like it's second nature. So let's start with the very first piece of the puzzle, how to set up the condition.
Okay, so the first part of our what-if sentence is always going to start with the word say, which just means if. Simple enough. Then you pair it with a special verb form called the future subjunctive. Now, don't let that fancy name scare you off. All it really means is that we're talking about a possible future event, not something that's 100% certain.
And now for the really cool part. After you've set up your if condition, you've got 3 different ways to talk about what happens next, the result. And that flexibility is exactly what makes this structure so useful, because it lets you say precisely what you mean.
The main thing to lock in your brain is that we use this formula for stuff that could actually happen, realistic possibilities. We're not talking about some fantasy like if I could fly. We're talking about real-life things like if it rains tomorrow or if I manage to finish my work early.
All right, so let's really dig into those 3 possible payoffs for our if condition. Getting a handle on these 3 options is the absolute key to unlocking this whole thing.
First up, let's talk about our first payoff. A future condition that actually leads to a result in the present. Now, I know that might sound a little weird, a little counterintuitive, but trust me, there's a perfect reason for it.
So here's the logic. We use the present tense for the result when we're talking about a general truth or something that happens all the time, like a habit. Just think of it like a cause and effect that's always true. If this thing happens, then that other thing is just the normal expected outcome.
This example makes it super clear. Se eu encontrar, if I find it, that's our possible future thing. And the result? Dota, I give it to you. See how that's in the present tense? It's not just a one-time deal, it's implying a rule. It's kind of like saying, as a rule, whenever I find something, my habit is to give it to you.
Okay, on to our second payoff. Now, this is probably the one you're most familiar with, the one you've been waiting for, a future condition that leads to you guessed it, a future result. Let's take it out.
This is the one you're going to use most of the time. When both the if part and the then part are pointing towards the future, you just use the future tense for the result. This is for talking about a specific one-time consequence, not some general rule like before. This is such a great real-world example. The condition is se dividimos a prenda. If we divide the gift, that's a possible future action. And the result of that specific action? Sairá mais barato. It will be cheaper. It's a classic cause and effect for the future that you are going to use constantly.
And now for our third and final payoff, what I like to call the call to action. This is the one you pull out when you want the result of your if condition to be a command or a request.
That's right. The result of your if can actually be a direct command using the imperative. So, if a certain thing happens in the future, you can then tell someone to do something. It's a conditional instruction, and it is so useful.
Oh, this is a perfect example. Se forem, if you go, that's the potential future trip. And the result? It's a friendly request. Trago-me queijo, bring me a cheese. See how that works? You're making a polite request that only happens if that future event happens first.
Okay, so we've covered the formula and we've walked through the 3 possible outcomes. So how about we put your knowledge to the test? Just a couple of quick practice questions. You ready for this?
All right, let's look at this first one. Ser promovido. If I am promoted, what's the logical result here? Is it A, I will have a new office, or B, it spoils? Of course, it's A. Terei gabinete novo. I will have a new office. This is that classic future condition leading to a very specific future result.
Let's try one more. Se não parares de comer chocolate, if you do not stop eating chocolate, what's the most likely thing to happen? A, we can catch the train, or B, you will get a stomachache. Yeah, it's definitely B. Vais ficar com dores de barriga. You will get a stomachache. Another perfect example of a future condition with a pretty predictable future result. You guys are getting this. So, you've seen the rules, you've seen the examples, you even aced the practice run. You officially have all the pieces of the puzzle.
Let's just put it all together one last time and see how it all clicks into one simple, powerful concept.
And there it is, right there. This is your new superpower. The condition, the if part, is always going to be C plus the future subjunctive. Then you just pick the result that fits what you want to say. Is it a general truth, a habit? Use the present. Is it a specific thing that will happen in the future? Use the future. Is it a command or a request? Use the imperative. It's really that straightforward.
Look, grammar isn't just a bunch of boring rules. It's about connecting with people. And now you have this amazing tool to express yourself way more clearly and naturally in Portuguese. So my question to you is, if you get a chance to practice this week, what if scenario are you going to be ready to talk about? I really hope this was helpful. Happy learning.